Well, Olorun is, as I think we've spoiled a little bit earlier in the Closer Look blog, he is a mage ADC. So he is definitely very much a mage. He builds magical items, but we designed him first and foremost as a hunter in mind. And that's not just, you know, the way he attacks, but also his abilities as well. You're going to see, as we go through the kit, that he's designed as a hunter. You're going to feel and play as a hunter, even though you are technically a mage.
Okay, model looks great.
Lots of auto attacks.
It's a good start.
In mind as you're kind of watching the kit. But of course, as a mage, he'll have some pretty impactful abilities as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you read the spoiler blog, then you should know that the alt is going to do some stuff. But we will get there.
So yeah, I mean, what we've been
You
doing.
can already see the 25% on the passive there.
Oh yeah, we
go crazy on a couple of abilities and
let Pawn loose, huh?
Kick it off.
Go for it.
Let's see what he got.
Now he should crit. No, never mind.
Ooh.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
What?
Okay, I'm seeing it now. And okay.
Those are the orbs.
We got some extra.
We got
where?
a little bit of everything in there.
Where's the crit coming in?
There's a lot going on. Let's slow it down and kind of talk to you guys about it first. Now, let's start with the passive. Or no, I'm sorry. Let's
the
start with
basic attacks first.
Right.
Yeah.
I love I mean, you want to talk about flowing and sky animation? My dude is just kind of casually killing you with his auto attacks.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of time and preparation built into his auto attacks. As you can see there, he's actually got, like, we wanted to build up the fact that he's a tripartite god, not just in his lore, obviously, but in the rest of his kit. So what you have there is you have his other forms of himself in animations, in meshes, coming
more
out
forms than Raven.
That was not an easy task to do, and we didn't do it lightly, but I think it came out
more arms than Raven.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we also have the Morrigan. That's kind of another one of our gods. That's a multi-aspect, and hers are brought in.
She's got her sisters.
One, so this one, kind of with every single basic attack, you can see those extra forms of Olorun. So let's go into the passive from here.
The passive's got a couple things going on. It's
the main thing. Let's start with what.
Okay.
This is smart.
What you're seeing and hearing there actually is, as we've spoiled as well, he's a mage hunter
crit.
and he can crit. He does, so that doesn't mean.
But it's not a double damage crit.
As you can see right there on your screen, he's got magical items built, and his passive is Touch of Fate. Upon reaching 150 magical power from items, although there's some circumstances where that might change, Olorun gains immediately 15% critical hit chance, and a further 1% for every 10 magical power that he buys from items. Now, do note, because there's actually a lot of people speculating online, that his critical hits only hit for an extra 50%. So not the normal 100%.
That's what I was saying there.
Physical crits usually would hit for.
Okay, so we just saw Pawn go back by.
Still crazy, dude. More damage means even more damage than his basics.
47%.
So yeah, exactly. You can see that on the meter. So he's got that 470 magical power. But again, it's from items, although that means Fafnir buff and there's other abilities out there that might increase your magical power. This won't increase your critical hit chance.
That's
but there's other
good.
things in the game sometimes that give you magical power from items. I believe red buff will actually give you a little boost through your magical power for items, and that'll help him out. Bancroft as well is actually pretty interesting, because if you lose health, you're actually gaining more
He's gonna have
power,
Bancroft as
giving
his
him
core.
more hit.
Okay, so a good item on him for sure. The Bancroft's talent. 47, yeah, it gives him 5%. Now, don't take any of my red buffs when I'm playing Olorun.
Those are his.
They get even better on him.
I think the crit caps at 600 as well.
Crit chance as in level.
Exactly. Around
it shouldn't be too bad.
70%, I believe, is his maximum crit chance. So you can't ever get to 100.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not crit at that point, just extra damage.
Right. Yeah. Not exactly crit in that instance. Let's start with the one then. Focused light. So he channels an orb in front of him. Seems to grow as it goes along.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this ability.
We wanted to do this kind of tech for a little while.
I just don't get how the charging mechanic for the crit there works.
He actually has 2 seconds.
It doesn't
once he
seem
starts
random.
using this ability to refire, or you can hold up for the full 2 seconds and it'll go off automatically. Once you've started casting this ability, you are not stopping it. You cannot right-click or cancel on your controller to stop this ability. It is going to fire. You just have to refire it. Although enemies can crowd control you to stop you from casting it.
The one can
because
crit?
you're not getting any benefit, you will be able to refire it again after that.
Okay, so you can get interrupted, but it won't go on cooldown because you're not getting any additional benefit.
Right, exactly.
This targeter is pretty unique, though. I mean, is the hitbox size changing as it's charging?
No, so there's 2 components. There's the one that grows outwards, and that's going to show you the range that
can crit.
The projectile will travel to. But the horizontal component, that's just kind of give you an element of the timing, how long you have left until it's going to automatically fire. Yeah.
Great. Okay, and this stops on first gun. god hit, but it pierces minions.
Exactly. It stops on first god hit, pierces through minions, and as you can see, I think a few times there, it can also critically hit based off of his passive.
Yeah, that's kind of the one that I think people are going to get excited about. A crit on this ability that it can be very, very
Excited
long.
on a long-range
Does it gain
crit?
damage as you charge it, or does it always have the same
it'll
damage?
always be the same amount of damage, obviously going up per rank of your level, but it's not per travel.
Okay. Now it also interacts with his 2, but we'll
Yeah,
get
we'll
there
go
after
into
we
that,
go over
exactly.
the 2 itself. Go ahead.
Maybe we'll just talk a little bit about like the visuals for that. If you guys had any thoughts.
Yeah,
on
it's
that.
like
Hachiman
on steroids.
Amazing job with like just the orb projectile, because like if you look at it closely, it's like a legitimate sun with like solar flares coming off it and everything.
Yeah, especially when there's already an ability in Kepri's 2, Rising Dawn, that is kind of supposed to be a rolling sun.
The projectile seems a bit harder to hit though. It seems to be not super
and, you know,
fast.
he is the creator of, and he is the heavenly god. We wanted to impart the solar orb a few times in different places in his kit.
Yep.
Looks awesome there, the rolling sun on the 1. Okay, number 2, Overflowing Divinity. So this is an attack speed stim.
Yeah, it's an attack
first?
speed stim with a couple of other components. So, as you can see there, he empowers his bracers, and he's got this kind of FX UI element above him. So, the first part of this is he just gains attack speed, a flat amount of attack speed. Remember, he's an ability hunter, and we felt that was pretty necessary for his kit. But the other thing that you can do there is, if you can see, his ability icon actually swaps. Now, the more enemies you hit successfully while you have the stim active, you're actually going to fuel that passive gauge meter there. So, you're going to be gaining ammo while the stim is active. And then at any point during the stim, or for 4 seconds afterwards, you can actually recast this ability to fire all of those projectiles that you've gathered in a sun orb.
That is a really cool
So
mechanic.
cool. It's just such a sweet ability to use. I did
Especially if you go into high
not too
attack
long
speed, you're gonna
ago.
stack
was
this
the
up really
ability that
high.
I was like, man, I am having so much fun messing around with this.
Yeah.
Now,
Demonic.
the easiest way to tell, just for a tip for you guys, is look at the buff
Wait.
bar right above your
Just
health,
double stacked it.
right above your HP bar. You'll see where you're getting how much longer you have the attack speed stim for, and then how much longer you
Oh,
can
it was
fire
just never mind.
the suns
Exactly.
for. But you don't have to fire the suns every time.
No, that's right. You can hold on, a couple more seconds until your cooldown's back up, or a couple minutes if you want to really hold those 20 ammo charges. Also, as Spawn's about to show, there's a special interaction. If you have your 2 active and you fire through minions, or even at gods, you'll be able to stack up your ammo count as well.
Okay, so
your
nice
1
little
stacks it
combo
too as well,
there.
it seems.
Pop the 2, charge the 1, shoot it through the wave, and then sunbeam
Fire out
your,
that overflowing divinity.
Right.
It's also cool to note that for when you activate your stim, that's when your cooldown for this ability starts. So if you fire your sun early, it still has the same amount of cooldown time as if you lay it off late.
Okay. Okay, that's definitely good to know. You don't have to worry about any firing it to mess with your cooldown or anything.
And a couple
Okay,
really
cool,
quick last things
cool.
as well.
I
As
like
you can
that
see,
part.
the more ammo you have, the more the area of effect actually starts to randomize.
Yeah.
So you have a couple of shots in the middle, and then it starts moving out in different directions, and the rate of fire actually increases as well the more ammo you have. So there's a couple of different things there that are going to make this ability feel more like
This is gonna be so scary in
explosive sun
combination with your
flares
ult.
coming out from that sun above you. It shouldn't affect the balance of the ability too much, because the first hit is going to do the maximum amount of damage, and then every hit on the same target after that will actually do reduced damage to a
Still
very,
does
very
enough.
low minimum.
Okay, so you can't just.
So it just went from 100 something to 80.
Oh, I mean, if you take all 20 shots, you're
It's
going to
gonna
take
hit.
a good amount of damage
All right, well,
regardless.
maybe we spoke a bit too soon on that one, but and the other thing is that you can store your ammo. Basically, you don't have to shoot the suns
Right, exactly.
every time.
You don't have
So
to shoot immediately.
You can just hold on to those. Basically,
Get ready for a team fight, have 20 shots because that's the maximum allowed, and wait to unload that sun.
And is that sun that you can see above Olorun that's growing as well? Is that can only he see that, or can enemies see that?
No,
as
enemies
well?
and allies will be able to see that as well. It's their way of knowing
That's good.
how many charges he kind of has ready.
But he charges it so quickly anyways. It may be harder to
All right,
charge on
the third
players, but on a
ability,
wave at least.
Consecration. This is really his only form of self-peel or
Right,
anything
this
like that.
takes place of what might be the movement ability slot. And it is an AoE around Olorun, where he expends the light within himself, because he
And
is
heals.
the divine celestial light, to knock back enemies and slow them, as well as to heal yourself and allies. So you can see there, he's taking a little bit of
Show me the
damage. It's a
knockback
pretty
again.
slow, fair heal, and if you hit enemies, it's going to knock back and slow them. There's also an
That's a
additional
decent
component because
knockback.
Olorun, you know, he's not just this god that dishes out the damage. He wants to be able to heal allies and gain something from it as well. That's kind of part of who he is. So every time you heal an ally, you gain an ally god. You actually gain a protections buff for every ally healed, and only you are.
So dual lane god for
You
sure.
don't give it your whole team a prop buff.
No.
He
Well,
himself
dual lane
gets
is now a
it's
solo
having
lane, so
a guardian
doesn't
right
matter.
next to you, trying to heal
can also
for
play
you,
mid lane.
Use the 3, knock back the opposition.
Exactly.
Heal yourself,
Give
heal your
yourself both
ally,
protections.
and get yourself some protections as well. Certainly,
He actually has decent
fitting for
safety
lore as
without the
well.
ult.
You know, breathing life into humanity is a big part of his lore. So
Without an
it
escape.
fits in with that pretty nicely, of course, on the 3.
The 3 plus
And
the
then,
ult.
it
That's a lot
combos
of
pretty nicely.
escape potential.
When we get to the ult.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
Wow, this one.
Yeah.
Well, let's fire it off again quickly. This is Sanctified Field.
Wait,
First
that
of
is
all, that animation
all the
there,
area?
he's got, are those the other
Right,
two
exactly.
parts?
That's his
That
two
is
parts. We want to play that
huge.
up once more. That's Oludamare and Alofi coming on the sides, creating the Sanctified Field with him. And this area,
is like
as we've
3
said, many times,
seconds?
this is actually a massive area of time dilation. And what that
Yes.
means is that Olorun himself will be moving faster. He's going to be attacking faster. He's going to be casting faster. While all the enemies inside of this
Well,
field
more than
will be
3.
moving
What?
slower. Projectiles will be going slower. Deployables will be going slower. They're going to be animating slower and casting slower. It's pretty crazy. But remember, allies are actually unaffected, although they'll be able to hit, of course, the enemies that are slowed down.
This
Sure.
is so
it's not
scary.
boosting your whole team, it's just boosting himself, but it's slowing the entire enemy team.
Yeah, we want you to feel like Keanu inside this thing, you know?
Very nice. So take a look at the movement speed and attack speed stats at the bottom left of the screen. He's not getting more attack speed. He's
Why
not
is he
more
getting
speed.
dizzy
He's
from
just
this?
gaining time inside this
Yeah,
area, basically.
no, like in this ability, like we aren't modifying move speed or anything like that. It is straight up, you are just going faster because time is moving faster.
And it looked so you can use basically every one of your abilities to synergize beautifully.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
designed his abilities in mind with this time dilation effect. So previously Focus Light, if you fired that ability, you know, it pretty goes a set range. Now if you fire your Focus Light inside the time dilation field,
It goes a little bit farther.
yeah, give that a try and show off the range of Focus Light inside of Sanctified Field. Yeah, that goes
Holy, dude, that is
What?
so
It
far.
goes quite a ways.
Now remember, it doesn't pierce walls, so
it
you're
doesn't
not
go
gonna
through
get
walls.
sniped across
It's not
the
going to
map.
gain damage, but it does gain some range.
I'll say some insane range, and that's where that horizontal targeter is.
Okay,
really
Thor
helpful.
2.0.
Exactly.
So you can tell when that's gonna.
How do you feel
Other
about
things
you?
Are your overflowing divinity. Obviously, you're going to be stacking it even faster because your attacks and projectiles are going faster. And the sun itself.
The
well,
time
it's gonna
slow
be,
is
you know,
not
shooting out those
super,
projectiles
super
even faster
crazy.
in
Oh, yeah.
Sanctified Field.
If you got
But the
20
area-
projectiles and you use like Olorun inside that field, that thing fires
Right.
so fast.
And right there, you can see Consecration.
I still want to see how this works with the hub 1 knockup, how long that
as they
takes.
raise up into the air. And he's actually going to get a little bit more healing as well, because that effect on him is going to be amplified too.
Yeah, it's also
Oh
with,
yeah, his heels tick fast.
yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, because he's getting 30% increased time dilation while enemies are being slowed by
Yeah.
40%.
So it's worth noting that for his abilities like his 1 and his 2, those like trigger times that you have, those don't get affected by time dilation.
Still want to have
Olorun has
camera turn
special
slow as
time
well.
dilation walls for his kit
Sure.
that allows so that those buffs won't come off until they are ready to come off.
And his cooldowns don't come back faster in that area.
Yeah, cooldowns are unaffected.
Cooldowns are unaffected for all gods.
Now on the other side, you can become CC immune and ignore this. You saw Bellona Eagles rally at normal speed. That's not affected. You can purification beads this.
Yeah, there's
Yep.
actually going to be a lot of interesting animation interactions with this. For example, Aegis for enemies, it'll actually last a little bit longer.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
All right.
That's
Well,
good.
Everything they do is long.
Beads and Aegis for the Olorun himself will actually be a little bit quicker as well.
Yeah, so
so
they're-
there's going to be some very interesting things.
There are
that
Okay, that's-
positives and downsides
that
to
is
knowing when
interesting.
to use your time dilation for sure.
They definitely added
Aegis
counterplay then.
faster. Again, only 30%.
You can
but,
basically use
that's
both
30%
Aegis
less
or
time you
beats
have that
counter
ability.
it.
So one thing we definitely wanted to harp on with Sanctified Fields is this ability was extremely ambitious. In
Yeah.
fact, at Smite, I think we wanted to do some version of time dilation for literally years. We wanted to bring it back to you on some other kits, and this was our attempt at it. I think we've done a really good job. And what that means, because of how outrageously crazy this ability is that we expect there to be some odd interactions, and we have oh my god, the list that we had to go through for this, I think
Before
Josh has
before
nightmares.
this, I had I was terrified by how many things
Yeah.
I had to fix.
But we did a lot of different things to get ready for this
yeah.
release, and of course, you know, ranked is one full patch away, and we'll have them out there on PTS, and we're gonna be doing whatever we can to make sure that whatever you guys send to us as bugs, we're gonna be knocking them out, and we are well aware that there's gonna be some interesting interactions.
This
Ones that
ult is
maybe
gonna be
not
super
intended
scary and
for gameplay side of
competitive.
things, but just let us
Outside
know,
of that,
and we'll have some known issues already out there on the
it
patch
doesn't
notes,
seem to be
and you know, we'll work on this together.
insane to me anymore after seeing how much the slow is.
Nick, who'd helped set up a lot of the framework and a lot of the stuff you see for getting time dilation even out of the gate working.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was
Well, that
definitely
part
our
might be a
biggest
problem.
effort to get this ability up and
But
running.
there's
I
a lot
think
of things
it's
you can do
probably
against it,
easily
it seems.
the most ambitious thing we've done in Smite since the Mulligan.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, I can definitely see the
So make sure to
comparison there.
play
Yeah.
that PTS and hit us up.
Man,
with all your stuff.
I cannot express to you guys how many more applications of this there are than what you're thinking right now in chat. I mean, I know that when we were playing, you know, on her, I think Finch got like taunted, but he stays in that taunt animation longer, so
Yeah.
I got to kill him off a rank 1 taunt pretty easily. We were playing against a Vulcan. You'd see a Vulcan ult coming in, you drop the time dilation field, and you get so much more time to walk out of that projectile
Right.
range.
We've also noticed some extremely potent counter.
Yeah, I wonder what
plays.
happens when
There's
an
some
ability
already
goes
of
into that area from
For example,
outside.
anything that where you're CC immune.
Yeah.
So Kuzimbo's ultimate really strong because you're going to be spinning and still doing your things just as normal, and you're actually knocking Olorun outside of this area, so he can't benefit from it at all.
Sure. Yeah. Gods that have
Oh, yeah.
those CC immune ultimates and things like that. Also, gods that can get on top of him pretty easily.
Right.
Oh,
he
yeah.
doesn't have a movement ability. He's really got to use that one knockup.
Kuzimbo's gotta
This
be a big
Sanctified
counter to
Field
him
actually
then.
has a very long cooldown as well. It goes from 140 seconds.
doesn't feel much
scaling
longer.
down to 100,
Oh,
which
so
is
it's
one of the
even longer
longest
than a
ones.
global.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At least at rank 5. Yeah, I know Jormungandr I was playing against gave me a lot of problems because
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
knock
Yeah.
him back. You know, he's staying on you, basically no matter what you do.
One of my favorites for sure is just going as Fenrir, ulting into it, grabbing the Olorun while he thinks he's safe, and just pulling him right out of it.
Right.
Yeah, pull him out of the sanctification field. This is, I mean, when you guys were talking about doing time dilation a while ago, I was like,
Fenrir, yeah,
there's
Fenrir is
no
gonna be
way
fun with the
anything
CC
like
immunity
that could
anyways.
ever, like work. It's just
I like
the way
that.
it's crazy, but it's
Yeah.
working, and it looks awesome. Super excited for you guys to get your hands on it. Again, get on the PTS. There's going to be a lot of interactions that we want to make sure we can only
Yeah.
you know test so much internally.
It's also worth mentioning that his deployable like field is a custom. It's a new type of like tech we're using for determining collisions and stuff. So this means even if you're untargetable, it's gonna know. It's gonna know if you're a projectile. It's gonna know if it's your pawn. So you'll see towers gain time dilated. You might even see the fire giant being gain time dilated. I know at one point.
Wait, you mean my teammates might be able to
wanna see that,
actually
actually.
tank a fire
Hope they're
giant
doing that.
properly because they'll be slow?
I mean,
It might
help
them. a little bit, you know?
Okay.
I know at one point really early in his balance we had it when we were testing just like how far we could push time dilation.
Look at
I
that, look
know
how long you have to
Pawn
move out
was
of
able
that.
to just solo the fire giant on his own at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it still looks
longer.
relatively
It was
quick. Like
very
the
long.
time slow is really not.
Yeah,
You
so
have
it
some
looks
more
like
time.
he himself
Super
isn't time dilated,
crazy.
but all of his effects that are coming in
Yeah.
are.
It makes things very easy
So
to
you'll
juke
see,
though,
like,
of course.
things like August, who we treat as like
He's to juke, he's
being
confirmed.
CC immune, he won't be affected by time dilation.
Okay. So there is going to be some counterplay to it, but
Yep.
there's going to do some nonsense in your game.
Anyone with a
No
big
doubt
CC immune ult,
about it.
which is a lot of gods.
All right, we also have. Oh, we got to listen to the voice pack here, of course, for Olorun.
Oh wow. Odin might actually
that
be
tittle.
very good against him as well.
Attack!
Can't do anything against it.
Defend! You are truly a shining star. I am struck with awe. Wow. I need no praise. Wow. Wow.
That's beautiful.
Inward and see each one of your flaws, as numerous as the stars in the sky. There can be no salvation for you. Just finality. The light is Olorun.
Oh boy.
Please do not claim that the sky is falling. I take that very seriously.
I love it, man. He really does.
Voice pack
exude
is fantastic.
That, I'm the best sort of confidence, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. We also do have the recolor card art, which Vivian, I know you were excited about.
Yeah.
As am I. I mean, this recolor
Very.
card art
Oh,
is just
wow.
incredible.
Dude, this card
Wow.
is amazing.
Wow, indeed.
Yeah, so when we did the recolor, I was thinking, what is different than his base because his base is already pretty similar to a
Let me
lot of the
screenshot this.
mastery,
Might make a little bit of a sound
color
here.
schemes we already have. So I was thinking
Apologies.
we could go with the night sky or the stormy sky, which is complete opposite than like a clear day, the daytime. So what we did is we turned all the metals silver, which is kind of like the moon, the moonlight, and then all the fabric elements we turn it into the a darker shade of like blue, purple, and all the embroideries are like the night sky clouds. Sometimes you get that misty cloud in front of the moon, things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much how we came to the recolor.
It's gorgeous. It makes so much sense and it looks amazing.
I like it a
also
lot.
have his mastery
Like the
skin
theme.
card art for you guys to take a look.
Oh, I've seen that as well.
Yeah, I just love it. He's so cool looking. I love that the skin markings are also that blue color this time around. It really fits really nicely.
Oh yeah, the gold skin
That
works
just
very
looks
well for him.
incredible. His whole model just looks phenomenal.
Though I actually
love
like
it.
the base
I'm
model
super
better
excited to
almost,
get
I
my
think.
hands on him. You guys don't have to wait very long. PTS should be coming up pretty soon. Make sure you stay tuned to all of our channels for that.
Ooh.
Oh, that legendary is so
Even his diamond
Oh,
might
the
work well.
legendary skin always looks
Yeah.
just super phenomenal.
Black and gold.
Yeah,
forever.
exactly,
Uh,
right.
Always. That's what I'm a fan of the black and gold for sure. Guys, hope you enjoyed the Olorun show. Again, PTS coming up soon.
Olorun.
Clumsy, Vivian, Josh, thank you guys very much for
Yeah,
joining
it's a
us to talk
pleasure.
about the newest god
Super excited.
coming to Smite.
I'm hyped.
Again, Olorun, PTS, play it, give us your feedback, let us know the interactions you see with the time dilation. You're going to have a lot of fun with that. Now, that it does do it for our update show, but we have Esports Weekly coming up right after this, so stick around. We're going to go to a quick break and get ready for it. 4:30 is when Esports Weekly is going to start. Got a lot of great information. Mid-season invitationals coming up for the Smite Pro League, so make
As
sure
usual.
you stay in tune for that. But for now, take a break. See you soon. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
And I thank you for watching. And I hope you enjoyed this first look at Olorun as well as the rest of the patch notes. Patch notes review is coming soon as usual, where I'll talk about the balance a little bit more, and we're going to take a look at Olorun on PTS as soon as he's out. As well as, obviously, if you're just watching the Olorun clip here, the full patch notes live viewing. With that, thank you much. Yeah, can't English anymore. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, feel free to click the sub button and maybe the bell. It really helps me out. Other than that, see you for the next one later. DukeSloth, out.